Hot mic.
Hot mic.
Mike's hot. Cameras are rolling.
Who's
Alex
Mike?
is hot. Look at him.
I didn't even get to tell you about my
Where did
disaster
Daniel
of a
go?
Thursday.
Your very no good, terrible, downright
very bad day.
rotten day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It is called Alexander's. Very good.
Yeah.
Know that.
I mean, I should have had some photos and images for it, but I basically by 10:30 in the morning I kicked my bedroom door down.
The one behind you?
No. This is my office door, the bedroom door, get out of the room because I was trapped. So, so there's like a subroof over there. It's like a 2-foot drop to like a subroof, but then there's like a 10-foot drop down from that roof to the ground. And we don't have a ladder tall enough. And I'm trying to get out. So basically my door was jammed. It was stuck because when you open the door, the thing that retracts into the door, when you turn it and the thing pulls back, that kind of, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the locking mechanism.
Yeah, that broke. I took apart the lock, couldn't get it out. I popped the hinges off. It was so humid in New York, my door had swelled, so I couldn't get it off. I'm trying to get them to bang on the door to get me out. They cannot do it. I jump out my window. I'm trying to figure out a way down. I remember that my bathroom window, I unlocked it. It was unlocked, so I slid it up, tried to get in, too fat, put it back down, had to then move, separate the window panes, like how they fold forward and you can pop it out. I had to get both of them out, jump through the window, and then I'm sitting there with a rubber mallet whacking at the two parts where the hinges are, because the pins are pulled, but just the hinges it's just swollen, they won't move. And I said, F it, and I just had to kick the whole door in. So I broke my door frame, everything was great. And then I went to go get some
Little in the kiss.
Love that.
I don't think you do.
Can't say those.
That's restricted content on some websites.
Okay, Alex, this is a safe space. Of your whole story, I have one question because it's been something that I've always worried about. How many times did it take you to kick in the door?
Once.
Oh, really?
Awesome.
Did you aim it right at where the lock is?
It's a solid wood door.
Okay.
So it's like I didn't have to worry about it bowing in. So I just aimed right for where the lock thing was, and I was like, so despite me not being very athletic, I have been taking lots of walks and going on the elliptical every day for the past 2 weeks. So
and
my leg strength is a little bit up
every week.
Yeah, so I kicked in the door. But I was trapped in my bedroom, and I was like, and it was the most humid day, and I had to be outside climbing out the window onto that roof. I was like, oh, I could just die out here. I'm not going to survive. It's terrible.
Anyway, just channeling his Simone Biles that after he kicked, he's like, ha!
Full Kool-Aid man.
I sent Liza the photo of my door. I sent Liza the photo of my door. She's like, what the hell happened? The Kool-Aid man come over?
Kids, for those of you who don't know, Kool-Aid man is a character mascot for the drink brand Kool-Aid.
Also a criminal.
They don't sponsor us. Why'd you give them that free advertising for us?
You never know. You never know. Because they may look back on this and
he is
some of those sweet Kool-Aid money.
He's my favorite mascot in the shape of a pitcher.
Honestly, he was
not to be controversial, but my favorite one.
Was and still is my celebrity crush. So, hello everyone.
Welcome in. Got me.
I got you. Happy Monday, everyone. Thank you for joining us on our new time. We are hoping to make this, a real low point for you. So then the rest of your week is just up.
It's just uphill. Yeah.
We provide a service and we're pretty good at what we do. So thank you all so much for joining us. Same time, different day. For the foreseeable future, Mondays is where you can find us. So today is pretty fun, straight pop culture.
No.
I was going to ask, who
I am actually having lasagna tonight. Not a joke. Also, but we are very, very happy to be here. Huge weekend. I didn't actually make it down to Comic-Con. Autumn, I think this is like it's like in sports. I mean, I know I'm going to lose about 89% of you with this reference, but they're like, this is the first playoffs without a Brady or a Manning. This is the first Comic-Con without
I know what that means.
Or a Paul.
That is correct.
This is the first time. At least
this is
one
the first
of us
time I have not gone in 10 years, and
Yeah.
it's a bummer. I can tell you that. I'm sad that I missed it, but just reality. It's very expensive, and no company was paying for me to go. It's on my own dime, and that's the first time in quite a bit.
The opposite feeling. Like I'm like, wow. Thankfully I just have no, now that Designer Con's in Las Vegas, I'm like, man, there's literally nothing to bring me to California ever again. Including three of you that doesn't. Yeah, you mean literally?
I can think of 3 reasons.
Yeah,
you mean specifically the 3 of us?
Yeah, specifically 3 reasons. Thank you.
We'll discuss this at a later time.
Offline.
Comic-Con happened over the weekend. There was so much that was covered, that was announced, that was leaked. We aren't going to be talking about any like the leaks because those weren't like Comic-Con official, but they are out there if you are curious or not curious, so be wary. But we've got a couple of news stories that we are covering today that we're just trying to compile like some of the biggest bits of news. And of course, we are going to talk about the weird goatee elephant in the room. We're headlining with that because we all have very strong opinions on that. So I'd really like to headline all of this. But let us know in the comments, guys, what were some of the things that you pulled from this year's Comic-Con? Because I felt like it was I felt very opposite, closer to Alex this year, Autumn, where I didn't necessarily miss Comic-Con. I was actually like paid to go, and I still did.
Yeah, you still.
I was just like, you know what? I just don't feel like doing. And this is gonna sound. It's gonna sound pretentious, but I am the.
So it sounds like
hate.
you.
Yeah, I'm the sponge of hate on the show. I'm used to it. It's fine. I get it. It's a lot of like industry parties and doing like the same thing all the time of being like, here's our cool Borderlands drink. Make sure to hashtag take a drink, and you do that 100 times.
I'm so into it. Like I love everything about Comic-Con. Including all that stuff.
I was not excited, and I also just moved back, so I was like, I need a weekend to kind of like decompress. But believe it or not, without me or Autumn being there, they still put the show on.
Yeah,
that felt weird.
They just went on as normal.
Yeah,
I heard nothing.
Everybody
but I don't know.
Way it's fine.
Yeah, I heard like I don't know what it was, but like there's just this really like great feeling. I don't know what it is.
Energy
there's like
this year.
There's this and these 2 shapes of horrible energy that aren't here this year, and we can't tell what it is.
Is that us, Alex? That you're referencing?
Us.
No, I would never.
It's hurtful.
But nothing.
Move on from this. Got a lot to talk about in therapy tomorrow.
We do.
Because of you. Well, everyone, welcome in
our
again.
group therapy that we do.
Yeah, like was it Metallica who did group therapy and immediately became uncool?
Yes.
What happens when you start uncool and then go to group therapy? It gets worse. So thank you guys again so much for joining us and following us over here. Let us know again what you guys liked in the comments. We'll get to all that in a bit, but we do have some pre-chosen news bits that Daniel is going to run us through. But again, like, comment, subscribe with the notification bell every Monday, 6 p.m. PST. We are here. So with that, Daniel,
let's get into
You're up, nerd. What's our first bit of news?
So getting the Marvel shaped Band-Aid just yanked right off. The Russo brothers are officially returning to the MCU. They're back to direct Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret War.
So they're doing another double dose of Avengers again.
They sure are.
Yeah.
But
I wonder how the first one's going to end and immediately lead it. Sorry, I'm already ranting.
No, it is. Because I genuinely, this is kind of a 2-part story. You know, the Russos and, as we all know, Robert Downey Jr. returning as Dr. Doom. But I mean, before we get to the big piece, I want to know what you guys think about the Russos coming back. We kind of spoke on it last week, or last episode, rather.
Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, right? Yeah. Some of the biggest things, especially ensemble pieces, with 3 out of the 4 of those big ensemble pieces. A lot of work. So they have experience with it. Of course, they did Arrested Development, which means that they are the pinnacle of directing, producing everything. Community, so they're the pinnacle of everything. Yeah. So that means, oh my God, what do you think? Like the cameos, the community cameos are going to be in this, Dr. Doom. It's going to be a bunch of Doom bots played by Danny Pudi.
Joel McHale. Joel McHale's just going to be a robot in a tight V-neck. Like that's
Oh
all
my
we're gonna get. All
a
right. I
big
mean, if
green
we're already
screen.
here, like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just talk about it. I'm using up my word now. Because everything
You
that I
got the
have to
Russos.
say about the Russo brothers coming back, it is lockstep with RDJ returning as Doctor Doom. They were very careful about everything that they had said. It is not like they didn't say, at least I didn't see, that he's like Victor Von Doom. They were very careful, I think, about not saying Victor Von Doom unless I missed that somewhere. But I had, again, like we all did, we all had a lot of friends that were there, and I think the energy in the room was pretty much like you could see people being like, oh my god, like it's Robert Downey Jr., but then it's kind of like, oh, I think they're cheering for Robert Downey Jr. and not like this
They're like
excitement
excited to see him
back in the MCU.
Yeah.
I think we all pretty much, well, I don't want to speak for everyone, but like I in our group chat had like the same visceral reaction of like,
yeah,
like,
What's that smell? Desperation and failure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, what's the
Gotta come back
line?
from
And it brought you back to me. Like, I understand the pivot, like the Kang stuff, you know, like I get that.
Yeah.
But it's like this just felt like a step too far for me.
yeah.
And after watching Deadpool Wolverine, it makes me less confident that anything going forward is going to be good. And only because Deadpool Wolverine was so good that it's like it's downhill. And I don't want to be negative. We tried not to be, but it's like they made this casting and it's public.
I'm gonna be negative when it's my turn. Go ahead.
And I am just not
liking what you like.
Not excited about this at all. I think it's lazy, and I think the only thing I respect is Robert Downey Jr. getting the bag and being like, "I went and got an Oscar. Now I'm just ready to party for the next 4 years." So that's my humble perspective.
I don't care how badly this movie fails, by the way, or however, whatever, because the backlash, by the way, the backlash is insane. It's like normally like there's like a bunch of like outliers who are negative about it, and like the general community is like, stop being such a negative. Now it's just like the whole world is like, are you effing kidding me? And there's this little group of people that's like, well, I'm just gonna, we're all just like, shut up. But again, you know, I don't have to watch it. I could just, you know, cook my hot dogs
for the
on
show.
it.
So
pay me. Like Robert Downey Jr. said, pay me. And then
I'll do it. Can you imagine what that paycheck must look like?
Russo brothers and him?
I think Dwayne Madison said that. Considering what RDJ was making for Iron Man, how much are they paying him for Doom?
I keep interrupting because I keep wanting Autumn to build up a little more like a volcano.
Can we just give me credit for how much I haven't been interrupting? I've been waiting patiently for my turn. It's our group therapy sessions that are really paying off.
Yeah. We also cut your mic a little bit, so you're good. You're back up now. So go ahead on. Let's hear it.
Hold on, let me get my soapbox. Hold on.
You're still
okay.
short.
In terms of liking what you like, I'm not going to complain. I don't have anything to say about people who are excited or not. Like, cool. If you like the stuff, great. My personal thoughts are we are officially, I feel like Endgame and then the like trilogy of series that happened, the WandaVision, Loki, and I always forget the name of the third one. Those were like nice little, to me, those felt like epilogues.
It's a good thing. Yeah. Huh? You forgot it. Huh?
Yeah, I forgot. Those feel like epilogues to me. I feel that two of them were more effective than the other, but they felt like an epilogue. And then it felt like the story was done. Like I felt like it was good. It was closed. It was over. And now here's the cynical part. I feel like we are now in the squeeze the cash cow until it is dead phase, where we know people are still going to go watch the movies, but they're just going to keep dragging it out and stretching it out, and just bringing the Russo brothers back in to me is a negative thing. Like it's time for fresh voices and fresh stories if we want to keep this going, not rehashing the same points of view, not just dragging all the same people and just trotting them out. I just feel like if you want to keep going, start fresh, get some new perspectives. So I don't like the Russo brothers coming out. I think they're fantastic, and I want to see what else they can do. I want to see them do other things. We love Community, we loved Arrested Development, but I want to see.
They've had a long time, and they haven't done anything interesting.
I want them to, like, I would be excited to go see them really go do other things. So that's how I feel about Russo brothers coming back, and about this whole let's keep dragging out Marvel MCU. In terms of RDJ, it's like, dude, you did your thing. Like, you were Iron Man, and you were right up in the front, all the attention. You were right at the pinnacle. And now, like, do you really think you're going to top that? Or is it just going to be a sad second wind? Like, it's just no. And I loved, he's had other projects. Like, he did Sweet Tooth. Like, he produced that. Fantastic. And that was lovely and wonderful. Like, go find more great projects. And
Oppenheimer, he won an Oscar.
Right. So like you did your Marvel time, you did your MCU. So like, go do other things. You attention hungry madman. Like, go do something else. I'm done. I'm done with both Russo brothers and RDJ in the MCU. Like, they did their thing. It's done. Yes.
Do you think with RDJ, Autumn, is like, you're like, oh, you attention grabber. He was probably like, I'm doing my thing. I'm sitting with my Oscar. I'm eating my little Oscar hot dog, Meyer Wieners, and I'm so happy right now. And Marvel's like, come on, dude, do it. He's like, what do you mean? I went on top. They're like, we'll give you 10 times what you got.
Who cares?
Dude,
he already has the money. He already has it all.
Okay.
Like, he's been doing this since he was
Autumn,
like 20.
Have you not paid attention to how rich people constantly want more money, and then they look at us and say, hey guys, shouldn't you guys donate money to Taco Bell's education
I'm not
fund?
saying that you're wrong. I'm saying it's aside from the point. Like, if you're asking my opinion, like, this is just my opinion, I don't want to see him do this stuff anymore.
No, I don't want to hear
something. Yeah, he's very talented, and he's got a great eye for talent, obviously, with Sweet Tooth. So like, there's a million really cool, like, do that. Go find more graphic novels. Go find more comics.
Yeah,
and produce those.
To
like
that exact point, it's like, I agree with you, Autumn. I truly believe, and it has nothing to do with money. And the thing is that people are like, then what is it for? And that's where the discourse is, because they're like, why are you doing
relevancy? Like, relevancy is
but like, that's the thing. He's Robert Downey Jr. He's never, it's like that joke where it's like, congratulations, Tom Holland, you're always going to be famous. It's like Robert Downey Jr. So he's always going to be relevant. And he's been doing this. Came off an Oscar-winning season in the forefront. Like, he has the respect of fans of us from pop culture. He has the respect of his peers from Oppenheimer, and then he does this, and it's like, I don't know. It's like the erratic.
What Desmond is saying, though, because that's something to think about. Is that so Desmond's saying it's also important to remember that RDJ seems to have structured his recovery around being a stable and safe held runner. That might also
it's comfortable
that could
and
be
safe.
Part of it.
I think that he has had decades in this industry, and I think that go with me on this, okay? Just hang in there for a second.
I'm going to shut up. Hold on.
He could be like, what he did with Sweet Tooth to me was laying the groundwork for this amazing potential to be like the Oprah's book club or the Reese Witherspoon's book club of finding these great stories out of comic books and producing them, because people will follow, people will see them, people will say, sure, like, if he's picked it out, he's got all this experience in the comic book world and MCU, and now he found this cool little indie story and told it. Go find 20 more. Go start lining them up. Like, you could make a name for yourself as this producer of these amazing stories, and people would watch them. People would look at them as like a brand is what he brings to the table, and he's not. And I think that he has a great potential to do that, an opportunity. He's got all the money, so go do it.
Yeah, and maybe the time.
I also think, by the way, 100%. His personality has developed around this like look at me, like, do you know who I am persona. And these projects like Sweet Tooth and like Oppenheimer, they don't really feed that, because he can't be that. Like, during Oppenheimer, he's still Robert Downey Jr., but like, as soon as Cillian Murphy walks by, it's like, ooh, like, there he is, and the attention goes
right.
Well, now all of the attention is back on him in a way that he was used to for over a decade. Like I couldn't imagine what that. I would be the worst version of myself I could ever think of if I had that level of attention and fame and money.
He could still center himself in the way that Oprah centered herself in these stories, and like Reese Witherspoon centered herself. Like she has
center herself. Could you let me
in everything? But what I'm saying.
Oprah the billionaire, right? That's what we're talking about.
No, what I'm talking about is
Oprah,
specifically
who had platinum lined. Literally, I watched them line the 50th birthday plate.
Stop, because I'm talking about a very specific thing where she brought not whether Oprah's good or bad. Okay, but what I'm talking about is a specific thing.
You should never respond to us.
Oh my God!
You should never respond to us.
This is what it's like on him.
I would like to say that she presented all of these authors in these stories, right? So it's about other people, but she centered herself in them. And so whether you think that's good or bad doesn't matter. But if he's looking for that attention and that fame and that relevancy, he could follow that as a business model where he centers himself in the middle of presenting all these voices and stories. So he could do both. He could still have attention. He could still have relevancy by centering himself, by creating a brand for himself as someone who produces. Stick with the whole, the whole finding comic book stories and putting them on streaming services and make that be his brand. And he could still be relevant and have attention while bringing new cool things out to the public. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with you. By the way, and even the Oprah thing, like I knew where you were going with it, but I just wanted to bust your chops, and you shouldn't respond when I do that. You shouldn't go, well,
I can't because I'm trying to complete my sentence, and I don't know what you guys, if you know what it's like to be interrupted.
I wouldn't know, Autumn.
Never. So let's put a fine point on this. I mean, I think it might be the official position of Fandom Social. Not super excited about this. I mean, obviously, because we're all weird levels of OCD and nerdy, we're gonna go see this.
That's called assault, by the way.
Dwayne, 100%. Can you bring Dwayne's comment up? Like RDJ presents, be like the Hitchcock presents, be like, the Rod Sterling with Twilight Zone, like brand your own name and present the stories. Thank you. Anyway.
Absolutely.
I just don't think there is any mountain left to climb for him. That is not the freaking Endgame press tour. Like, I think that is a lot of what it is. I think it's feeding. It could also, right? We could be completely cynical and wrong, and all of this is the last thing he does. And then for the next 20 years, Robert Downey Jr. is known as this incredible, I think progenitor of stuff like
prognosticator.
Progesterone.
Progesterone. That's what it was.
Yeah.
This progesterone of projects like Sweet Tooth, right? Where he just does stuff, and all this doomsday and Endgame money funds it like what Hugh Jackman was very upfront about. Like he wanted to do Les Mis and Greatest Showman, so he kept doing Wolverine.
It's a great evolution of his career. You know what I mean? He did.
Progenitor?
He was,
who's
progenitor is the word. I think it's
just
progenitor.
Curious,
but
what you're all thinking about this? Like, I'm curious. Like, Doom is such a huge casting up there, expected, right? Up there with like Batman. Not as big, but it's gotten to the point in pop culture where it's in this echo chamber of like, I don't know who they could have casted that would have been like, ooh, like him. Like RDJ was obviously a miss.
Right.
Everyone was saying Cillian Murphy, and I was like, that would have been cool, but I definitely don't think he would have done that. Like,
I will say a lot of people's issue with the casting is that Robert Downey Jr. is, hate to say it, just another white guy, and they're not casting a Romany actor for a traditionally Romany character. And I mean, in this day and age, I feel like a lot of people are not up in arms, but they're definitely being more vocal about that. There is like that social aspect.
And I've seen people making like the obnoxious, cynical, like comments of like, oh, at least it's another DEI hire. And I'm like, okay, so if they had a Romany actor, that's not a DEI hire, that's an comics accurate hires. And so
Right.
like, comics accurate.
Yeah.
They can't have it both
true to
ways.
character. Yeah.
They really just want to say white. They really just want to say white.
Yeah, I know. Anything
say
but white. It's like Autumn that in Parks and Rec, and he's like, I don't want a basketball court here, and they're like, okay. They're like, there's just a certain type of person. I'm gonna tell you.
Okay, I'm gonna say it.
And it just hypercuts over. It's exactly that.
So it's like
it'll be interesting.
But then
I think. Before we move on, I think it'll just be interesting to see what they do. I think it'll be worse for them if they do the pivot turn, which everyone thinks they're going to do, of being like, "Ooh, it's just a variant," right? And then we get
which
like
is
a real
worse.
It is so much worse in ways that we really don't have time to get into right now because it's just a complete waste of a Comic-Con. But that wasn't all that happened at Comic-Con, right, Daniel?
No, you're right. No, there was
what
other
else?
stuff.
What else is gonna raise
send us all on a rage
pressure?
Everyone's favorite Lord of the Rings adaptation, Rings of Power, got its second season trailer.
Nice. That is a terrible picture. That's
awful,
scary.
awful picture.
So you grabbed this on purpose, Daniel?
No, this is official marketing. Amazon is just really just like, you know what? It technically counts. Here, take
we
it.
know you're gonna watch it. You're gonna watch
Literally.
it. It doesn't matter what we put on.
I'm gonna buy the soundtrack because Bear McCreary killed it on the first.
Yeah, he's good at everything. Like
I know. So I bought this. I'll buy season 2.
You remember when Amazon was just like, Rings of Power, the show you've been waiting for, has $1 billion budget. We're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Please don't. Like, that doesn't mean what you think it means.
By the way,
you throw one hell of an SDCC party, but
I think you say STD. I
don't know.
So just to make an analogy with Star Trek, they got so much money for their first movie that it was just horrible because it's just like, oh, let's do this big concept and all these special effects.
They don't have to get creative and selective if they have
slashed the budget in like half, and then they come out with the Wrath of Khan, and everyone's like, the greatest Star Trek movie that has ever existed.
Yeah.
And then they get more money, and it's terrible again. They're like, slash the budget. Whoa, this is great. So it's like no matter what, every time they get more money, they're like, get worse with it.
More money means more cooks in the kitchen, means
more
less restrictions, less challenges that you have to come up with interesting ways to solve. So it makes for, my opinion, makes for sloppier movies.
Has anyone on this show finished Rings of Power?
I finished.
Have I started it?
3 episodes.
You finished it?
I watched the whole thing.
Okay, I watched it as well.
It
you know what? I don't know. Maybe it caught me on like a really good day where the antidepressants are working. But I enjoyed like a lot of it. I think it was like they tried to have their Helm's Deep moments, where they try to have these big speeches, and like that didn't work because like none of that is earned, and really no one cares about that stuff because it's not Lord of the Rings. And I think a
lot of the criticism, Paul, was that the dwarves and elves were not, comics accurate. They weren't comics.
I'm going to tell you a certain type of dwarf and elf that I don't like, and I'm just going to say it.
I'm just going to say it. No, it's okay. It's not necessary. We get it. We get it.
I'm just going to say it. The whole thing. There's comments, and I'm like, I can't even believe this. But Paul, I agree with you. Is that I watched it and I was like, yeah, okay. Like, part of it was like, okay, I already see where this is going. I see I see dead people. I picked up on the twists and turns of that show.
Right.
Like really early on, I was like, oh, I could see where this goes. But like I kind of enjoyed the journey, even though they changed a lot of the characters and they changed. I was like, it's just fun. You know what it is? Mm-hmm. It's a multiverse. It's a Lord of the Rings multiverse story. I'll just take it like that. But man, I got to tell you, one thing that drove me crazy about it is that they have the scene where they're on these boats and there's all these elves just standing there with the swords on the boats, and you see them, and there's like a whole 10-minute scene, and you think to yourself, how long have they just been standing on these boats? Because they've been traveling for a very long time, and they are posed very specifically. Do they come out every morning and just pose?
Do they wear diapers? Like, what?
Do they do they eat? Because or do they spend months on a boat just like this?
Do they trade off? Like they have ships?
I don't know.
What is it? Like Scotland Yard? Like
Yeah.
those people who were like, "Don't touch the horse," and then the horse kicks them, and then they try to sue the queen.
That's what just
It's
drove me crazy. I was
exactly like that. Yes.
It
I get the point of things looking cool, but the first thing I thought while I was watching them on the boat was, are they literally just standing there for like months on end, just like standing there with a sword? I'd be so bored out of my mind. Sing something.
Yeah.
Read a book.
Do these elvish boats have like bathrooms? Do they have like common areas? Do they sleep? Let us know. hello@fandomsocial.com. Let us know the architecture and the toiletry of an elvish boat. I think we're curious. But Daniel, did you pull any reactions? Like, how was this trailer like reacted to by the public? Like, I don't want to be too inside baseball here and brag, but me and Daniel got a drink yesterday, and we were talking about that, and I was like, as soon as the RDJ stuff happened, everything else was hushed underneath that. I don't even remember this trailer coming out until my YouTube algorithm fed it to me. So Daniel, did you find or did anyone here find like how people reacted to it? Are people excited about it? Like,
there was very little buzz on it. I think the trailer dropped on Friday night, if not Friday afternoon. Just kind of at a weird time. It wasn't optimized for the algorithm. It was kind of a mixed bag. You got the people that loved it, loving on it. You got the people that swore they hated it for DEI reasons and whatnot. Shitting on it. Of course. Oh,
that's your one.
You get one.
You get one.
See, I said effing before, so I'm keeping mine in the pocket.
Like a trump card.
Hey, move on.
Yeah, but it was kind of a mixed bag.
DE and I.
Let's just scoot back over to the center. Thanks.
Yeah.
Back to the
I didn't find that a lot of people were very excited about it. I even went to the gross underbelly cesspool that is Reddit and looked through the Lord of the Rings subreddit, and it took me like 5 minutes of scrolling to get even to the Rings of Power trailer.
So even within that fandom,
people didn't care. So that's why I was curious.
I knew about
money well spent.
I know about the next story that we're going to do, but I did not hear about this until I was looking for information on the next thing we're going to cover. And I was like, oh, they released the Rings of I didn't even know about it until we found the other side. I was like, oh, doing research for something else.
Well, again, everyone, the trailer is out. Let us know if you watched it, if you are excited about it at all. I think I just have a deep love for Lord of the Rings, so I just have this weird obligatory feeling in my stomach.
So
where,
you'll watch it.
I'll just watch it.
I'm gonna watch it. Well, I didn't watch The Hobbit. I didn't finish it.
I love The Hobbit. I still really like The Hobbit. But yeah, it's too much. There's so many other shows that Amazon is putting out, and it must be frustrating to be on that marketing team and being like, man, this team this is gonna be the perfect segue into our next story. The marketing budget for something like The Boys is probably half, and it's a substantially more successful show.
Yeah. And I think that just goes to show, it's not about the money you throw at the marketing. It's about how well things are done.
Right, which is when it's done well, we get
The Lord of the Rings in Finnish. Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Daniel. I was being a professional host and softballing this to you.
Yeah, no, I caught it. I was like, no. So yeah, The Boys has a new prequel show coming out.
Yeah,
and
does it?
It's gonna follow Jensen Ackles. I forget his name. It's like Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy.
Yeah,
Soldier Boy.
In the notes it says Solider Boy as opposed to Liquider Boy and Gas.
They mean somebody who's welding and soldering. It's
Gaseous Boy. And Stormfront. The show's gonna be called. I couldn't even tell you how the name's pronounced.
Vought Rising.
I thought it was Vought Rising.
Very, very disappointed to find out that it had nothing to do with the 2007 rap sensation Soulja Boy, who did the famous rap song "Crank That." It's just Jensen Ackles again. But you weren't listening to a lot of Soulja Boy in 2007, Autumn?
That's crazy. You know what? Shockingly, no, I was not. Just one.
So I was a couple of days ago old when I realized that The Boys season 4 was out and finished. I realized that I think I need to rewatch season 3.
It's in English as well,
about it. Oh, okay.
Not just finish.
So bad. I don't appreciate these kind of puns, you guys.
By the way, speaking of Lord of the Rings and Finnish, when I'm in Finland, they're putting on a 2.5-hour version of Lord of the Rings. I have a front row seat going by myself. It's completely in Finnish. I don't understand a word, and I'm just like,
You vibe out for 2.5
so
hours.
oh, so this is Elvish, I guess. I'm just going to pretend it's Elvish. I don't understand.
The whole thing
What
is
does Elvish sound like in Finnish?
Yeah.
Like all these Finns just speak Elvish. Like, no, it's our language. You just went to public school.
But so Vought Rising. So I need to finish The Boys. And by the way, I think they said they're doing another season. I thought this was going to be the
one
final
last season.
So they're doing another last season.
Yeah,
I thought this was the last season. They're doing another last season.
Who is the showrunner, also the showrunner for Supernatural for all 14 seasons. Eric Kripke had mentioned pretty early on in like season 2, I think when season 2 launched, that like we want to do 5 seasons and then we're out. So it's pretty cool to see them end the show. Like, because if it went, it's pretty, I don't know. I think Eric Kripke now is like, yeah, he would hate to see a show go on for too long. What would that be like?
Like this.
Yeah, no shit.
Dead horse.
That one was
So temperature check. Autumn, where are you with The Boys?
Oh, I watch it. It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have like this big deep connection to it. It's not my favorite show in the world. I can appreciate how great it is, but like if it's on, I'll watch it. You know what I mean? Like in the house.
Are you pretty much caught up, or are you not through season 4 yet?
I'm through part of season 4. Like I just catch it's on, like someone's watching it here and I'll just like watch part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's great, but I'm not super attached to it.
It's way better than the comics, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, the comics is terrible.
Really?
What about you, Daniel? I don't remember where you are with The Boys.
I think I finished season 1. I don't think I ever went back to start season 2. I just kind of fell off. Something else came out. My ADHD said, look over here. And
another season of Housewives.
I was gonna say,
distracted by Bridgerton and We Are Lady Parts. So like the opposite.
I think I watched season 3, by the way. And sorry, Dan, you weren't done. I just cut you off. Who cares?
No, that was it. I've seen about season 1, and then I never went back.
Daniel, please stop interrupting Alex.
I saw 3 seasons. I don't remember the end of season 3, so I got to watch a couple of episodes to remember where I was. Because then I started watching it. I was like, no, I've seen this before. I didn't see Generation V. Did anybody see Generation V?
Yeah.
Was it good?
I remember I also was living by my quite alone at this time. So
that was your desolation period.
I live quite alone
Desolation
myself.
Of tall.
Yeah. I live quite alone myself, so that's not an excuse. Was it good? Because I need to catch up on
most of it. It's weird because unfortunately one of the main characters passed away. So I think that they've kind of got that weird aura over it. So I don't think they're continuing with Gen V. I think now it's just going to feed into season 5.
Well, they just do what Thunderbolts did and be like, oh.
Yeah, but I dug Gen V. It was a pretty good case when like everyone's not afraid of racist Superman. Like that was nice. I mean, it'll be interesting. I've seen so many people say like The Boys has now become the thing that is parodying because
pirating.
They're like now they're doing like basically all those like micro shows where they're like get deep with the deep and like all these things that are like funny in world because it's just poking at Marvel and DC. It's like, okay, now you have 2 spin-offs. Like when does the self-actualization stop?
Yeah.
And
that's what's annoying.
If they really want to parody Marvel, they'll end up doing the same thing, or they're just going to beat that horse and they're going to milk it and they're going to ruin it. It'll be weak, watered down The Boys pretty soon.
Yeah. I mean,
they could do it to stay relevant to what Marvel's doing.
Yeah. I'm also concerned with this show in general just from like a real world standpoint, because
True
the
story.
world's already like a little divisive. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we kind of live in pretty divisive times. Hi, Spike. I just noticed him back there.
Oh, there he is. Yeah.
Hi, bud.
Yeah,
Buddy.
yeah, by the way, I was watching my credit card bills, and then I was like, you know what? The world is over. I'm just going to start buying everything. I
Yeah.
don't care anymore.
New mic, new
Okay,
camera.
really
Stop
good. My
paying
credit score-
taxes and max out
My
your
credit
cards.
score
Who
was
cares?
like 870.
Yeah.
Like
Now
6
make it.
months
It's
ago, and
220.
then 2 months ago, I was like,
You got it down to 420.
yeah, I could drop that down a little bit. I need 19 Stormtrooper action figures.
Like, is this his weight or his credit score?
Hey.
I want to make a match.
But the show's revolving around Jensen Ackles and then the other girl who plays Stormfront,
Mhm.
and they are very clearly terrible people who are
Yeah.
racist, xenophobic, homophobic, and
Yeah.
they have
Literally
a
a
whole
Nazi.
platform for that whole season. And I'm like, I just worry about people
Yeah.
not understanding that it's a parody
Yeah,
more so
like
than they already do.
I don't think they're worried about it, so don't worry.
it makes me think, because every once in a while I'll just sit there and just like think about stuff. And I just remember the first time I watched Fight Club and like all the people I was growing up with watching Fight Club.
Yeah.
I just know, I was just sitting there like,
being like excited about it instead of
Like,
like
look,
I'm just imagining
understanding
Alex
it.
like the thinker.
No, I was just like, I'll just sit in my chair.
Capitalism,
Like,
dude.
I was just sitting. I'm like, man, remember when all those people when I was growing up were just like Fight Club, and they were like, oh, let's get into a Fight Club. I was like, it's supposed to be the rise of fascism. Don't you guys see it?
Yeah.
My best friend watched it once and he hated it. I was like, no, you're supposed to hate everyone in that movie. They're all terrible. And now he loves it. So I'm afraid that that's what's going to happen. Like the people who love Eric Cartman,
Like they use it as a guidebook instead of use it as a step-by-step instead of like a wake-up.
When people are like, man, I would love to hang out the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia gang. Like they seem so chill. Like they're terrible people.
They remind me so much of me and my friends. It's great.
Yeah, like being at home.
Telling on themselves.
Anytime someone asks me to describe that show, I'm like, imagine the worst people in the world in one of the worst cities. And I love Philadelphia. The people at Philadelphia, I do love Philadelphia. But I keep thinking about their sports fans. I'm like, think about the worst city for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The worst people in the world there doing the worst things and being the worst to each other. That's the show.
It's where God put all his garbage pail kids.
Yeah.
I say it's like Seinfeld because the point of that was they were all unlikable people. But if they had no limits, just go for it. They didn't have to worry about NBC approving it. They just went for it. That's what Always Sunny is.
But also, so that's what I'm
the
saying.
gang does
Soldier
meth.
Boy.
There's literally an episode called "The Gang Gets Jihad" or "The Gang Gets."
Charlie has cancer.
Yeah. Okay.
So
it's so bad.
Yeah, the Soldier Boy Gen V thing. I am concerned. Not Gen V. Stormfront thing. I am concerned because there are people who are probably like, they're awesome. We love them. They're great characters.
Like Dwayne,
beautiful people.
Said too many people already see Homelander as a hero. Completely.
I have coworkers who have said things like that.
I've seen it as well from people that I'm a good person, so I'm gonna hide their identity, but they're also just like, he makes
You're not, so don't.
No, but it's just like people that I went to high school with that their name rhymes with Shmoney. And he's a barber, and it's just like, I just think he makes some good points. Like, we just need to listen. And I'm like, oh man. Let's just, I don't want to spoil season 4. But Casual Nerd Problems says Sunny, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is pure. Sunny in Philadelphia is pure is what I love most about it. Philly peeps are like they say.
They say.
Yeah, they tell it like it is. It's like New Yorkers with Alex.
Yeah.
He always tells it like it is, but you know what? If he doesn't curse it. This one, he's from New York.
Wow. Okay.
Warming it up all the time.
I tell some of my friends when I get into things, I'm like, listen, this is not like Pacific Northwest, Seattle, passive aggressive. I'm like, no, this is me telling you this thing. I don't mean it like no, I just mean what I just said to you. Just shut the hell up and listen to what I'm saying. Not like
I can't do our thing that we do all the time, Alex.
So what's going on with SDCC announcements?
Anyways, the point is the Boys is going to get that prequel, and I need to catch up, and I think it will be interesting, but I am worried. I love her as an actress, by the way. She was also in a show called You're the Worst about this couple, and that they are the worst. Oh my God. They are literally the worst.
Yeah.
Heard
Also,
Cheers.
Autumn, Jared Padalecki is like
Uh-huh.
rumored to come back. Is like to be in.
Are they gonna have the car and the dad?
In season, he's rumored to be in season 5 of The Boys because they just
Really?
want,
Wait
They
a minute!
want the
I just
little-
realized something.
The Easter egg. Yeah.
Dad is in the show. Dad is in the show already.
Yeah.
Morgan.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan's in the show.
These are little
Is he?
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeffrey
He
Dean
is.
Morgan's in the show. Jensen Ackles is in the show, or was in the show, or is in the show. I don't remember anymore because I have to watch season 3. And now Jensen Ackles. Oh my God, this is so.
What's the third guy?
Are they gonna have the
With
car?
trench coat? They're gonna bring in the
Castiel.
They're
car.
gonna have Castiel.
Castiel. Yeah.
Misha Collins.
Did I get his name right?
Misha Collins. Yeah.
They had
I didn't even
I don't
He
watch
calls
that show.
them. Remember when he was Misha Amigos? Is what he called his fans
Misha
on the
Amigos?
show.
I didn't
Ass
even
butt.
watch the show, and I know the characters. I can't even
Yeah.
believe it.
Yeah, that's how integral they are to pop culture. But yeah, I don't think Misha should probably ever be on it. But Chuck's in it. Don't know if you guys have seen that episode, but
Yes,
yeah.
he is.
Chuck is in the show.
That's one of the ones I saw, and I'm like, oh my, he got
All
pink
right.
eye.
It's like that's God.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah, think of-
All right.
Okay.
Well,
next,
anyhow.
We got a few other things that Comic-Con is, believe it or not, actually supposed to be about comic books.
What?
We
We
don't
passed
always,
that a long time ago. That's
We
been
don't
in the
always get
rearview
'em,
mirror
though.
for miles. Yeah.
but one of the things we do get every Comic-Con are the announcements of the Eisner Award winners.
Mhm.
And we've
Yes.
got a few this time. I mean, obviously been a huge comic book fan for my whole life. I've been kind of out of it for a bit, but I've actually been clearly back in quite a bit. But what were some of the like main categories you pulled in? There's always so many, I know, but like, what did you pull?
So there was 2 big winners, just because they kind of swept the categories they were in. The first one is a smaller indie graphic novel. It's called Roaming, and this is by Mariko and Jillian Tamaki, and they're cousins, and they went in on this graphic novel together, and they won 3 awards, and they were nominated for 3 categories, and they swept all their categories. They got Best Graphic Album, Best Writer, Best Penciler and Inker.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty great.
That's really good.
That's really cool.
Yeah. That's crazy. I feel like those are huge accolades, to win all 3.
Yeah. Especially and it's a drawn and quarterly book. It's a drawn and quarterly book, so it's like it's like when you talk about like your indie whatever, it's like they're it's not like when Dark Horse and Image are like, oh, they're indie. No, they're indie.
Right. Truly
indie.
indie.
Like A24.
Yeah,
is
yeah,
so
yeah.
indie.
It's like how like
this is
A24 is an indie filmmaker.
Right. Yeah.
And Neon is so indie, but like this is like drawn and quarter is like way down as far as like a footprint of the market. You know what I mean? Like control of the market. So that's a truly like indie title, and I love it.
Have you read this, Alex?
I have not read it, and
no, I haven't either.
I'm not one of those people who usually like, oh, the award-winning thing I'm going to read, but like it's comics, I'll always try something new because you can't hear about everything, right?
Yeah.
You can't hear about everything.
Trust me,
So
I
when you
tried.
hear about something, so it's like,
This one is a really
I'm
cool
very
like
excited.
art style. Real cool. Here's an example of like one of the.
I like that.
This is going to be reduction. Like, I mean, I don't want to like reduce it, but it kind of reminds me of like a leveled up version of like Dilbert.
Yeah.
Okay, we're done. Thanks for
I'm
joining us.
sorry.
Yeah.
Mariko Tamaki.
I was thinking-
Oh,
give me,
so
like,
it's like
Persepolis.
Dilbert. Got it. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
get it
I
now.
I was getting Persepolis with extra colors.
Yeah,
vibe, but
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go with Dilbert.
Dilbert.
Hey,
Frickin'
Dilbert
guy.
was great.
Yeah, it ran for like a zillion years, Alex.
Yeah.
What do you even know?
Until the
Right.
creator
David
came out. as
Garfield.
It
Superman.
kind of
David
looks like
Garfield.
Marmaduke
I hate
also.
Mondays.
And Family Circle.
Oh, Family Circle is my
Oh.
favorite.
Or Kathy. Ack.
Chocolate. Ah.
Yeah,
I'm
Kathy was
sure
really
they would
awesome,
love.
actually.
I'm sure these guys, the creators, would love this whole conversation.
Oh, I'm sure.
Maybe.
But listen,
Yeah.
congrats
Let's get 'em
to
in
the
the room.
Tamakis. That was
Let's bring them out.
Tamakis. Shout out
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Great
them.
job. They won 3 really big categories. Graphic album, best
Yeah.
writer, and best pencil and inker are big
Mariko.
categories to win.
Hey, Paul,
Now, what is
you
the-
and I worked for an Eisner Award-winning comic book store for best comic book store in the world.
Yeah, we only
because of
sold Dilbert.
us.
Wow. Yeah,
We only
yeah.
sold The Far Side and Dilbert.
We did very well.
And you know, there was this
Very
really great
well.
Oscar. It was this Oscar-winning movie that I went and I saw in the theater. So clearly, it was me.
Same.
You guys are so adjacent. Stop it. What else?
No, we're central.
Talk about the one that's going to trigger my PTSD.
Do it.
Okay, so this
Second
one won 2 awards, right? And so this obviously Roaming won 3. This one won 2, which were like the top 2. It won Best Continuing Series and Best Writer / Artist, and it is the Transformers comic or graphic novel.
It's comic. It's an ongoing series.
It's an ongoing.
Daniel Warren Johnson won Best Writer on that. Like
I like Daniel Warren. I do like Daniel Warren Johnson. He has that whole what was that? It wasn't a Justice League comic. Was it Wonder Woman that he did? Damn it! It's gonna kill me. It's been a long time that he put it out since he put it out, but he did the one where
someone. You know what sucks? Tenchi's not here because Tenchi would have spit it off.
Tenchi would have known.
He would like,
but I like Daniel Warren Johnson quite a
Way
bit.
to abandon us, Tenchi.
Sold some. I think it was like a super. God damn it.
Wow, he's just using them left
Mike's,
and right. I get none.
Mike
left.
Spicer is a great artist as well. I don't read Transformers like even when when my pool was like $75 a week. I was
That's it.
I wasn't reading.
I used to do
with a discount.
I was like with a discount. Yeah,
I've never in my life read a Transformers comic, and except for Transformers the movie. And I was a Transformers person when I was getting older. That was me. That was my demographic coming out, and I still didn't read Transformers comics. So I was like, yeah, I get everything I need out of this movie and this toy commercial and the toy that I'm playing with. But
I just don't find the lore of Transformers interesting. There's a bunch of movies out about it, Alex. If you're curious, there's like 7 of them.
Yeah, I wonder if there's like a magic.
You're gonna hear
in this.
You're gonna hear Creedence Clearwater as you just have like flashbacks of the movies.
No, it's gonna be It's gonna be Linkin Park doing a cover of Creedence Clearwater.
Oh, that's horrible.
Terrible. But the fact remains that maybe it's a comic book worth reading because I'm not going to say that just because something wins an award it's worth reading, but if it had
means
enough,
a lot of people read it and like felt it was worthy of
and felt it was
regard,
good enough compared to the other people. Like I'm trying to remember who else was nominated in that category, but like they had to beat out other people. Yeah, rigged.
Yeah, it's
you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Just forever. Yeah, it'll be. It's an interesting winner. I don't like, to be honest. Traditionally, heavy IP books don't win those awards.
Sure, so it has to be really a standout.
It has to be really good, and I could just be completely wrong. And if anyone out there has read it, let us know. I'm very curious. But
yeah, I'd like to know.
Yeah, I'm curious. But like, I also think it's because like maybe Snyder, Tynan, Hickman, probably I just don't think they have a lot.
The Snyder cut? I'm sorry, what?
No, Scott Snyder, James Tynan.
Scott Snyder.
Yeah, don't have a lot of books out right now because they're doing a lot of things on their indie labels. So I don't know if they mean.
Do you know what won Best Limited Series that is actually not here? As I'm trying to figure out who was nominated with Transformers, is Best Limited Series is called Pee Pee Poo Poo by.
You're kidding.
No, Alex, it's called Pee Pee Poo Poo by Carolyn Cash. Pee Pee Poo Poo.
Wow. Pee Pee Poo Poo.
Because you know what? Why not?
Sure, go for it.
All right. What else do we have, Daniel?
Last one we got is the best new series for the Eisner Award, and that was handed to Somna.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Becky Cloonan.
Yeah.
And Tula
Lotay. I'm very excited because I loved this book. I have, I don't buy physical media. I don't buy physical comics a lot anymore because just the space and everything like that with all the other crap I've collected over the years. But I have 4 of each cover, and then I bought
Mm.
the uncensored versions of their super like black label version that comes in
Yeah.
a black
Oh,
bag
you do
because
it.
it's like
Yeah.
censored. So I had to buy all of them. Then I bought all the black bags, and
Oh,
then I
wow.
bought the uncensored
So you
extra.
hate it.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I was very excited about this.
That's
this
cool.
one.
Um,
And
yeah, the only Tula. I mean, I had some of her covers, but I had the sideshow Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
Probably did with them. And Parker Jordan.
Tula's a favorite of mine. Like she did.
Just
There's this book called Supreme Blue Rose, and it's just like a retelling of Supreme, and it went nowhere, and it didn't get any further. Just in this one, and this little bit, the art and the story are just like so like, oh my god. Of course, those don't get picked up. The ones with the hey, Spider-Man punched Dr. Octopus in the face, and then he had a twin brother.
Okay.
Oh. Let's do that again. Let's do that all over again.
Somebody will pop back out on the porch. She's getting happy.
Come on. Yeah. You know, your comics can be on your iPad. You know where you do your gambling? You do it on your iPad now.
Pop wouldn't watch Sama because they're female characters. Pop would be like,
well, if there's a black
Alex
label,
Papa would be like, how would you get me some to eat?
Yeah, you would. Oh yeah, you would. Alex Papa, go get me this Sama. Go get me this Sama. Alex Papa.
I was half in on that joke before I said it. I'm an ally.
Yeah.
I'm one of the good ones. Okay.
Okay.
Daniel, we have one last piece of news that you can try to corral us in 4 minutes.
What do I? Wait, no.
The Fantastic Four stuff.
Oh,
you wrote this outline.
I sure did. So I've got a couple that are approved and like officially distributed, and then I've got a couple that are not. We'll talk about it. So I think it was Saturday night, right after the Marvel Hall H presentation, there was a big drone show, and it had some really cool Fantastic Four.
Oh, sick!
Yeah, wow.
So sick.
That is awesome.
So cool.
Oh my god!
In the videos, they were actually playing some of the Michael Giacchino score for the upcoming film. So fans got a taste of that.
Wait, did they start filming it already?
Cool.
No, production starts on Tuesday.
And they already have music for it? Like, what is he composing music to?
Who knows? The test footage, because there was some test footage shown.
They're gonna create the show around the music.
It's the Marvel way, they're just making it up as they go now.
Great soundtrack with a terrible movie. Yeah, maybe I could see it.
Fair.
Look
at the Avengers.
Times.
That's how I think that stupid Amy Winehouse movie got made.
Oh, don't even remind. It looks like an SNL sketch. Did you? We'll talk. So there's this photo teasing the new.
Oh man,
so cool!
So cool. Like, look,
I'm just very excited about the actor.
Oh man.
Okay, and Daniel, before you show the next images, we need to give people a spoiler warning because people don't always like leaks.
Oh, true.
Okay, so turn around, guys, if you don't want to see it.
The next few pictures are official leaked images from Fantastic Four. So, if you don't want to see those,
in 5, 4,
just switch tabs.
3.
Roll it.
We can roll it. Okay, so the first one is our first look at Johnny Storm in some kind of, I don't know,
thing.
Space.
You're describing it when they're not looking?
To be clear, the movie takes place in the 60s. They've confirmed that the movie takes place in the 60s, and the Fantastic Four are responsible for getting us to the moon, and it's this timey-wimey stuff that is happening alongside them. They think they're gonna time slip into the whatever. So that's why they're wearing these outdated looking spacesuits.
Yeah.
A low budget thing.
So we've got this image.
Nice.
Okay. See, here's the thing. This makes me want to talk about spoilers and how people are overzealous about spoilers. To me, watching this, I'm like looking at this picture, I'm like, this is not a spoiler. This is just a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it really doesn't show.
Yeah, but there are people that want to be completely surprised later. Like they don't want to see this stuff until it's been
Let me just tell you
presented.
something. I don't respect that whatsoever. I don't respect it. I 0% respect that. Because it's like, oh my God, you told me the name of the movie.
Wow, good thing we looked away to avoid spoilers.
Yeah,
two photos.
That's what I yelled at Daniel as he's describing every inch of the image.
But you know, I think I agree with Paul. It's a respectful thing to do because some people don't want to see this stuff.
And those are also he showed two of the least spoilery ones. The ones he has next are actual
just a photo of the script.
To some people, and I was going to say, anti-spoiler culture has gone way too far to the point that this would be a catastrophic spoiler to someone. At this
point, dying on some weird hills today.
Dude, when I wake up and I open my phone and I'm like, oh, that's a cool picture, and then there's 250,000 comments of like, I can't F you, you spoiler, and I'm like, oh my God, it's a picture of someone's lighter. Oh my God, what is wrong with you? Like, oh my God, they told you the name of the title. That's a spoiler.
Okay, but someone who's a big fan, like if it was something like they were going to do a Buffy remake or something, and then it gets leaked, like who, what this something looks like, I would have been bummed. It's like, no, that would have been a cool thing for me to discover. No, it would have been a cool thing.
A bunch of people sitting in chairs? That's not a spoiler, Autumn.
Alex,
it's a bunch of people sitting in chairs.
It gives you the visual look of what this is, and people who are hyper fans of it, Alex, people who are big fans of it would have liked to discover that later. They don't want to see it in a crappy photo. They wanted to know about it when it's presented, Alex.
It's a white.
I
can be white
people
sitting in white chairs. But they're wearing the costumes that they're gonna wear, and it's the whole visual look of the film. And yes, it is. They're sitting in chairs. They're not naked, Alex. Are they? Alex, are they naked? Alex, are they naked? No,
so
they're wearing
a shirt.
Costumes.
Oh my God, I'm wearing a black T-shirt. Oh my God, spoiler alert.
That was not a black T-shirt. That was what their whole that had the whole aesthetic of being in the past,
Daniel,
and what it's going to look like.
Aesthetic. It was white. Everything was white.
We're gonna all breathe. Everyone's gonna breathe. Everyone's just when you're. They're still.
It looks like they're trying to get out of the phantom zone.
They're like, all right, we're gonna bring them back on. Autumn, how you doing?
I'm having so much fun.
We're back.
Matching energy.
Daniel, bring on the next spoiler.
That was our backdoor pilot for our debate series.
Whoa, hold on. Take me back off screen. We're showing the backdoor pilots. I'm out of here.
Backdoor pilot. The name of
That's not a spoiler.
Fans.
That's
Oh yeah.
Name my sex tape.
We have 3 real big zingers tonight, and
we're good. I'm just gonna bring them up. Here we go.
Let's bring them up.
Oh, so that's
that is pretty big.
See, that's a spoiler. Big.
That's a spoiler.
Yeah.
That's fair.
How is it a spoiler? It's just someone's face, Alex.
No, it's actually revealing what the size looks like.
It's just windows and a face. They could be looking in a dollhouse. You don't know.
Does he not look like? Cool. Does he not look like? What was the dumb Transformer that was like old and rickety and had to like pull his pants up? Remember? And he's like,
why do we keep bringing up Transformers? We already passed the Transformers.
But he looks like a Transformer.
It's terrible. Yeah, he does.
Anyways,
he wasn't just a white guy sitting in a white room with a white suit on.
Not another white guy.
Well, everybody, Alex is the official person to decide what's a spoiler and what's not for everybody.
Hey,
what everybody's idea of a spoiler would be. Everybody check with Alex before you get upset.
Listen, I have an idea in my head, right? Once I say the idea, it's a spoiler. I spoiled the movie by giving it a title. I wrote a script.
Okay.
Spoiler.
Oh, actually, thank you. Spoiler. That's a great segue. No. Speaking of which, we did get an actual title for the film. It is called Fantastic Four: First Steps. he's making it difficult to do
That
my
was
job.
not a leak. That was just the announcement, right?
Even the title's a spoiler because now it's first steps.
No,
One
Alex,
giant
it's
step
an
for man. I
announcement.
know they're going to
A
space.
leak that shows a spoiler is not
Doesn't
okay
matter.
for some people. Like I said,
Telling someone anything about a movie is a spoiler.
He's tangible at sometimes. He's
That's
just
what people say when they release trailers. Trailers are spoilers.
then they can choose
I'm putting
not
you on
to watch
timeout
it.
again.
Some people
No,
don't.
I'm not
Now-
gonna do that. If you complain about spoilers, you're my enemy. I was like, how far can I take this? I was like, how far can I take this? I'm like, I'm declaring war on spoiler people.
No, this is Alex complaining about spoilers. Noted.
Oh, my
You're on the list.
I don't
You're
know
on
what
my
it is.
list.
I think Mondays are bad for our health, but they're good for content.
I think so.
By the
That
way,
makes it
it's
all the more worth it.
Autumn. This is because I've spent the entire weekend, anytime I open up my phone, seeing 200,000 comments about spoilers. And I'm like, I'm sick of it.
We've
Go-
had a whole
go off the
off-screen
internet.
argument about your particular perspective or my particular perspective of what we see that's negative. That's your perspective that you're seeing.
What
So
are we
like
talking
you can
about?
just never mind. We've had a conversation before. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm
I
gonna leave it.
Just like you were mentioning, these conversations are better had offline.
Play.
All right,
Alex,
everyone.
can I see you
well,
after the show?
Absolutely not. You're the
You guys
last.
get a head start now. Well, thank you all so much for joining us.
Wait, we're
on
done?
Our Royal Rumble episode
I'm
of
so angry.
Fandom Social. I'm still angry.
angry.
Alex is like, I'm going to the bodega. I'm gonna go yell at a
The
cat.
cage
Hey,
match
Alex.
to Hell in the Cell.
Alex, we can talk about Taylor Swift after if you want to still vent some of that. Let's go.
Oh, ow.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I got
Daniel
that.
Okay,
just got
yeah.
bit by a
I'll bring my
cat.
niece
Yeah,
on.
go.
You can feel Alex's energy radiating through your mic. But everyone, thank you all so much for joining us on Monday. We know the time shift is hard. Let us know. I know Mondays are I guess better or worse depending on if you can make it or not. But it works really well for us. And clearly,
But like our
we
official stance
show
is
up-
tough.
we show up pretty heated because Mondays are pretty busy business days for all of us. So we got
We're
a lot
fresh
of
and ready to
aggression.
go, as opposed to Thursday
true.
night. We're getting a little worn
A
out, but
little-
on
a
Monday
little dead
we're
inside.
ready. Yeah.
So like, comment, subscribe with the notification bell. Again, because of just Facebook's new dumb Facebook rules, we still cannot stream to Facebook. So we're just on YouTube.
Spoiler.
So we'd really love if you guys were all there. And you're hanging out with us there. Again, comment in the chats. What were some of your favorite, maybe smaller things that were covered throughout Comic-Con that maybe were not
Star
always
Trek,
covered
baby.
here or not widely covered? There was a whole lot of Star Trek stuff that Alex sent to us, feeding the Star Trek fandom that we just do not have time to get to because they had a lot of stuff. DC had a small showcase, but they were still there. They did Creature
New
Commandos.
logo, which
All
is
kinds
their
of
old
stuff,
logo.
a new Studios logo, and a Penguin trailer. Also, the Penguin activation was on fire. Did you guys see that? You got
Oh, I heard.
Like
Actually,
literally on fire?
like literally they had the plume
Not
of
like it was
smoke.
amazing.
No.
Whoa.
Really?
Yeah. Ball.
Wow.
Liza, I just want you to know, be very careful what you ask for. We have floated this idea, and Autumn's just like, I think Autumn's pretty afraid to let me and Alex off the rails a little bit here. And Autumn can get pretty bad.
If it was, I was gonna say, if it was truly like no holds barred, I think we'd gain/lose a lot of followers. I don't know. It depends. We could all get a little, and Daniel would just be there going, "You guys, please stop."
Daniel's riding sidecar to hell with us for a reason. Let's just say
I've earned my keep. I pulled my weight.
I did my part. But thank you all so much for joining us. We'll see you next Monday, where we're going to be talking about all of pop culture news and headlines that have happened from now until the day right before the show, or maybe even up to, because as Alex always mentions, like something badass always happens like right before we go live, and then we don't put it in the script. So we'll get something changed up. And then I also think next week we want to talk a little bit about like where we are all at with the MCU, because we do want to talk about Deadpool and Wolverine a little bit. So we're gonna maybe tack that on to the end of the show. Autumn, I think you're out next week, right? You're not gonna be able to make that one.
I'm going to be at Collected Con in Chicago. So if you are a fan of designer toys, you're in the Chicago area, go check it out. And it's really cool. I'm going to be there giving away prizes and stuff.
Nice. Giveaway prizes to me.
Okay. Go to Chicago.
Go to Chicago.
Go to Chicago.
Oh, you got it out of your system?
We're gonna offend our whole Midwest.
Never, but
Chicago.
I can hold it back for now.
Both yeah, we're gonna offend both of them. Both of our Midwest followers.
You gotta hear Liza talk. She's got a Midwest accent.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. We're off track here.
Anyway.
So much.
Chicago.
A wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. We'll see you guys next Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, talking pop culture news and headlines and a little bit of the MCU. Hopefully, you guys have all seen Deadpool and Wolverine by then. We might do a little bit of spoilery episode. If not, you can leave it there, because Alex will dictate what is or is not a spoiler. But thank you again. Remember, like what you love what you like, and do not be a jerk about it, because we will put you on timeout. Bye, everyone.
And respect other people's
Harry Potter.
spoilers.